But you guys on your so that you do the channel called Boy Boy, and this kind of started after your channel, right?
no,
or started-
it was actually the first one.
Oh shit!
It was just like
okay.
it was just terribly unpopular for years.
Shows how much I did my research. But I think the first time I'd seen anything of your channel, and I thought it was fake at first, because I thought there's no way this could be real. You both went, and I'm not mistaken. You both went to North Korea just to get a haircut.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm sure this has been like the press thing. You always have to talk about, like, asking about
yeah,
the weird
yeah,
shit. Like, tell us about North Korea. But like, I mean, why the fuck did you do that?
Oh, that was our first ever video as well.
Yeah.
That's like a debut on YouTube. I think we wanted to go to North Korea for tourism, and
Wait.
Just casually, just casually.
Just to see the place.
It's so weird. Like, you just hear so many stories about it and how it's this kind of mystical place with these crazy rules. So like, we wanted to know, is this true? Like, yeah.
And then ended up just making a video out of it. Like, that was our first ever thing on YouTube.
How were you able to film anything there? Were they not like super strict about?
To be fair, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about the place. Like, the filming was really chill over there, just because, I mean, you're on a guided tour essentially,
So
they want you filming. Like, they want everything they show you. They're like, show the world how this place is a paradise.
So if one of our viewers wanted to go to North Korea for tourism, which I'm sure like a lot of you guys watching are, what's like the process of like getting the visa and like getting over to North Korea?
It's honestly easier. That would sound like we're on the North Korean tourism board. It's honestly easier than any other country we've gone to, just because.
It's so easy to do because their tour companies are set up to do all of it. And I think we paid, it was kind of pricey for what we were poor students at the time, but we paid like $1,000 for 5 days. But you just send off your details to this Chinese company and they arrange all of it for you.
Was there no point where you were like, this sounds like a bad idea, maybe we shouldn't do this?
There were some dodgy bits, like when you got that call in the morning.
There was a couple of things. So the lead up to this scary call in the morning was they said you can take photos of anything, but the one thing we don't want you to do is take photos of the military. So after a day being there, I was like, well, I'm going to take photos of the military. So I just started taking photos of the military, and then one time they saw me doing that. So they asked if they could go through my camera. And then they were going through my camera looking for the photos of the military to delete that. But it was really funny because you know how if you record a video, it has a thumbnail?
Yeah.
Which the thumbnail was there and they thought that was the photo. So they were just like, why is this guy keep taking photos of the ground? Like, they didn't look through any of my videos, but they deleted some photos of the military. And then so that kind of put me on their radar. So then I was a bit stressed, like, oh, I've pissed them off.
You did the best emotional manipulation on them. That was insane. They stopped going through your camera because you started crying.
Yeah, I started crying.
What's the wait? They're like, can you have the camera?
Because they started deleting photos of the travel, and I took this photo of this like really like this boy was sitting down at the river and he was like fishing, and I took a photo and I thought it was like
deleted it.
They deleted it, and then I started getting tears in my eyes, and then they stopped deleting the
thought in my head these guys would be so brutal, but like they just see a grown man cry and like this has gone too far. Like,
that's where the compassion kicks in.
Like, what are monsters in North Korea?
I think they were worried about the press though.
It's weird that we worry about the press when they're just arresting other people.
Oh
my god. So this seems weird that they'd care about that.
But it was weird, like all the tourists kind of stay in the one like specific tourist hotel.
Yeah, right.
And like you never really know what's going on. Everyone's kind of assuming that it's all bugged and they're listening to you and stuff. And then one time we were out, we were like privately talking. We're like, okay, if it is bugged, let's just tonight when we go back, we'll just talk to each other in gibberish all night, just in our room. And hopefully there's a North Korean person behind the scenes, like flicking through the translator books. Like, what the fuck's going on?
What language are we speaking?
We did not give up for like hours, just saying nonsense.
Just for hours. Like, it's great.
So how closely were you guys monitored? Were you guys allowed to leave the hotel room at all?
No.
Was it like kind of like quarantining?
We could just walk around the hotel. We paid a bit extra to do like a private tour for the last days, and then that's like more or less free.
They said it was a walking tour of the city, and we imagined, oh, you just get to walk, but it was like they took us to a street, and then the two guides walked down the street to the end, and then back up to our starting point.
Yeah,
and it was like, it's a very restrictive.
You don't get to see very much.
No, they're showing you what they want you to see,
right?
The good parts, but
was it good? The good parts, or was it just kind of like?
It was actually fine. I mean, like, a lot of the good parts seem fairly nice. And
that's the best it gets, I guess. So
I
think but the one weird thing was, I think they've got this vision that they're actually like this best in the world kind of utopia. And so some of the photos that they had issues with, like Alex taking a photo of that kid, they were just like, oh, he's barefoot. You can't have that. You know, he looks poor.
Oh.
And it's just like, dude, people don't wear shoes. Alex never wears shoes.
Yeah, come to Australia one time.
Yeah, and also the kid was like swimming in the river with no rubbish, and we just came from China where everything's like covered in rubbish, and we're like, no, this actually looks pretty
this looks
chill.
good.
Yeah.
You're like, calm down.
You
like-
need to go through China to get into North
Yeah,
Yeah,
through
yeah, yeah.
Dandong.
Yeah, how's the food there? I'm curious.
I mean, I don't think it's a fair judgment because we obviously paid money, and I
Yeah.
think they would obviously. It was delicious. It was just
Yeah.
like.
Did you guys
really
go
nice.
to like a local restaurant or something or whatever they took
Nah,
you to?
it's all,
Barely.
it's
Like,
all
I mean-
arranged.
Yeah.
Right. Because
I don't think there are local restaurants in North Carolina. I don't think they have any.
I actually I don't think I've ever told this story on the podcast before, but so this is like one of the weirdest experiences I've ever had, right? So I was this was when I was living in Thailand, and I was out with Sydney at the time, and we were walking around and we were just like trying to find a restaurant. We were just in like the middle of Bangkok. And we see this one massive restaurant, and we recognize that it's a Korean restaurant. So we're like, great, I'm craving Korean. Let's try going in. And then we head in, and then something's like off because we go in, and it's a Saturday night. It's a massive fucking restaurant, and it's completely empty, right?
Right.
And then the servers come up, and we soon realize that we're in Thailand. So we expect them to at least speak Thai or their second language. A lot of people speak English. They did not speak any Thai or any English at all. And for some reason, all of the girls, there were all girls there. All of the girls who were serving us had like this look like they had a gun pointed at them or something like that. And it
Jesus.
was super, super weird. So we go into this restaurant, and they serve us, and there's like 2 items on the menu or something, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here, right? So the only person who spoke Thai there was the manager, who kind of didn't really know what was going on. She was like, I asked her, well, what do you recommend on the menu? And she was like, I don't fucking know. Ask the girls. And so I try like communicating with these girls. Oh, what do you want on the menu? And I was like, is it okay if I leave? To like the manager, and she translates that to the girls, and and the girls are like, no, please don't leave. I'll get you this. I recommend this. It's okay. I'll get you this right now. And so we get this, like, I think it's like a chicken soup or something. And the entire time, the girls are like, I don't know. The girls just look scared. Something was off with this restaurant, and in the end, they ended up double charging my card. And I try explaining, hey, I think you've double charged my card. And they're like, no, we haven't. And I explained to the manager, you've double charged my card. And she's like, I can't do anything about this.
What the fuck?
It's already fueling rockets.
I recommend you just leave right now.
Nice.
And so we leave. And I'm like, that's a weird fucking experience. And so we Google it. And we find out that it is a state-funded North Korean restaurant.
yeah.
And we had just like walked into a North Korean state-funded restaurant. And I was like, I didn't know this existed, you know?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
They're like basically like they're kind of held hostage. But yeah, I heard about this because I think there's a video, probably like fucking Half As Interesting did it or something, about how the North Korean government funds like restaurants of North Korean food to kind of get people to appreciate the culture more.
Yeah.
But
I'm surprised it's bad service because like we had the opposite in North Korea where it was like so like obsessed on making everything perfect that it was just like almost freaky in the other direction.
yeah.
We're like,
Right.
This is too much. Like, chill out.
Well,
a
maybe
bit.
it's because you guys were in the mainland, right? So
Yeah.
like they
Oh,
had
yeah,
like
yeah.
a standard to fill up, whereas
Yeah.
like, you know, them in Thailand, they're just like, no one's gonna fucking walk in here.
they
know.
Also, I bet they spoke fluent Thai and English. They were just trying to scam you. They were like, pretend not to
So we're gonna fuck with this guy really hard. Oh my god, that's terrifying.
Was there anything about North Korea that surprised you guys that you weren't expecting?
I think, the relationship with the leader was pretty confronting. I don't know. But I guess that's kind of what you expect.
Yeah, because we went there to try and kind of like look at it from a pretty like neutral point of view and try to like maybe dispel some of the Western things,
Right.
stories about North Korea. But yeah, the stuff with the leader where like every single person has the leader's face and they're viewed as a god. And there were some hilarious moments where we went to the Museum of Friendship, where they had
Makes you just want to cry.
like it was the place where there was all the gifts that Kim Jong Un had received from leaders around the world.
Because everyone loves it.
Because everyone loves it.
everyone
Yeah.
loves it.
They're
You'll
best
love it,
mates.
right?
Yeah.
So-
And one of them was like a gift from the CEO of Samsung
Yeah.
from Korea. And she shows us this cabinet and she was like, this is all the gifts from the CEO of Samsung. And inside the cabinet was just Apple computers.
From like the 90s, like the
Yeah.
old fat man. And he's like the latest Samsung technology.
And we were just like trying not to laugh. You're like, they just, they don't
what?
know. Like,
They had another one there. It's just so hard because you see how earnest these people are who are telling you this stuff. I'm like, I cannot laugh
Because
at
they
you.
genuinely believe it, right?
Yeah.
They had the
You know.
best one. They had this portrait there that he was gifted. I forgot from who. And it's like, this is our dear leader riding a tiger in a suit of armor, smoking a cigarette. And I was just like,
and he's on top of a mountain smoking a cigarette. And she's just showing us this thing. And we're just like trying not to laugh so hard. Like,
Oh my god, these are so they're just like proudly showing everything off, and a lot of them are just fucking weird.
oh, there
So
was some
strange.
weird.
They-
They,
Yeah.
they
weird
don't
stuff.
know any better,
You said
right?
something about a mausoleum or something.
oh,
Oh,
yeah,
that
we
was
went to the
insane.
because
Yeah.
like the dad and the granddad, so Kim
Yeah,
Jong Il
right.
and Kim Il Sung are like,
They have a mausoleum for them,
yeah,
obviously,
they're embalmed over there,
God.
and
Madam Two Swords.
yeah, exactly. Wax music.
Madam Two Swords, North Korea version.
It's, it was so bizarre because we go there to like even to pay your respects to these guys, and you we get out like I don't know how far away it was, like a kilometer away from the actual mausoleum. Like what are we doing here? You don't actually go in. You go into this like underground bit, and you're on travelators, like and you stand on there, and they're going slower than walking pace, and it's
Yeah.
just the North Korean national anthem blaring, and you're literally standing on that travelator for like an hour.
It was probably like
Jesus.
half an hour, and they made us stand in a block
Formation.
of 16, so 4 by 4 people, and we had to just stand still as we like floated down this elevator with like pictures of just North Korean landscape. And then we got to the end, and there
No,
was
you
this.
get to these different rooms where like one of them had like brushes on the floor that like clean your feet, and then you go into another room that blows all like the dust off you because you need to be nice and clean before you see the guys.
It's so
And then-
dystopian.
But when
It
you
was
when you
weird.
finally get there, it's so sad. You've got because we were there with a bunch of other North Koreans, and like everyone's like crying. It's like, oh no, these guys are dead. But you've got guards, like armed guards around them, and like the guards are crying. And, like the guy's like wiping away his tears, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you're there every day. Like how?
How are you crying every
Yeah.
day?
Yeah, that's a lot of tears.
This job never gets easier.
The turnover rate for the guards must be so high.
Just emotional
But
depression.
I was really lucky because I had a bit of a cold, so I was like sneezing and teary the whole time. So I'm like, this is great. I'm fitting in perfectly. I'm legitimately crying at the tomb.
It's
of
like,
the
we got
leader.
him.
To North Korea. Was it, because obviously I imagine there's something in your passport that's like, I went to North Korea. Right?
Yeah.
Have you ever had any questions when you're
In
traveling?
America,
They're like, why do you go?
we had to get interviewed because normally Australians can go like on an ESTA visa to America,
yeah.
but we can't. We have to go and get interviewed by
because
the
you went-
American guards who ask the weirdest fucking questions and
So you
like
had to get the B one? Is that the one? The one?
oh,
where
the
you-
business, the
business
big
one.
one,
Yeah, yeah,
right.
which is just so weird, and they're just so strangely
They're so
staunch
intimidating.
about it.
Yeah.
So just because you went to North Korea,
Yeah,
you
and it's like,
can't-
what do you think? I'm a spy? It was the worst spy in the world. Like,
What kind of questions are they asking? Like,
oh, just why did you go there? Did you enjoy it? And they asked me, did you enjoy it? I was like, but if I say yes, am I a spy? So I was like, it was weird.
Yeah, you're trying to like, do you want me to say it was bad?
they always ask the most pointless questions. That just feel like, well, you're not getting anything out of this. Like,
It's
why?
pointless, but they're also just like angry at you. Like you're
Yeah.
just like, am I wasting your time? Like I don't understand what's happening.
I just loved it that we're getting interviewed by Americans about North Korea. I looked behind the guy interviewing me, and there was a massive portrait of Donald Trump looking like Kim Jong Un looking down. And I was like, it's exactly the same. And it's the same
And
place.
in the
Like,
embassy, they made us like they took all our stuff and like we were like they took our shoes and we're just walking through the embassy barefoot and we're like, wow, it's like I don't.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty hectic
North
security.
Korea would not be allowed.
Yeah.
As we've learned, no shoes. You have to have shoes. You have to have shoes.
Jesus.
So do you get questioned every time you go to America? Or
No, it's just the once when we got, but once the visa expires, we'll have to do
We'll
that
have to do it
again.
again, yeah.
God.
Oh, that sounds, that
Pain
sounds
in
like
the
hell,
arse.
man.
Yeah.
So that just set the precedent for your channel then. It's like, okay, we went to North Korea. That kind of like, what's next?
It's just all been downhill from there.
Did
There's-
you make the channel?